what's going on, guys? So today we're talking about the best-selling cards in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's Yu-Gi-Oh! Market Watch. I did want to mention in my penny stock video, I talked about there was a thing up here, an article talking about the 5 cheapest decks to build. It was for speed duels, so I'm not going to be talking about that. But this is interesting that this came out. We looked at it last week. We will take a look at it again if it comes up. If it doesn't come up, we're not looking at it. All right, so that's kind of where we're at. I mean, it kind of came up. It's right here. But I know that not a lot of people care too much about speed duels, but it wasn't. It's really not about speed duels. It felt like DD Crow, Super Poly, Macrocosmos got secret rare reprints in the deck or in the box. And the way it came out too, as you probably already know, you got the full set of cards, right? And I believe DD Crow, Super Poly, Macrocosmos are in the set. Like, if you buy the box, you get those cards, but you get commons. And then you get packs of secret rares of, like, the really key cards. And those packs are really what's driving the market up. We talked about this a little bit during the penny stock, the Bestial stuff. Bestial's getting to a spot where, especially because it runs branded, like, you could run Bestial branded. Like, I mean, I'm sure if we go down here, we won't find any decks that ran this. I mean, this is a Dragon Link deck from 2 weeks ago that was running Bestial Lubellion. It was main decking 2 copies of Bestial Lubellion. Right? Because we contribute our Noctos, we contribute all the Bestials, we contribute Levianair. Don't know why we would, but we can. We contribute one of our Synchro Monsters. There's a lot of weird interactions where we could tribute a card that you wouldn't think we want to tribute for this card, right? I think the Bestial stuff is a great buy. As far as whether or not this is a great buy, what is the price here? Because that says $84.95. And then this says $17.99, but those are Koreans. We got to get past the Koreans. So $60 for the cheapest version, with market price, I believe, of $70. This feels like really good value. That feels really solid. I shoot these videos, I should say, on Monday and post them on Friday. Right, so if you watch the Penny Stock Market Watch, you know that I already mentioned this and that. You know that I post the Penny Stock Market Watch on the same day that I shoot it, but the regular Market Watch I post it on the Friday after. So that's why I don't ever say, like, get this right now. I say things like what I'm about to say here for this card, which is if you can get it for under $65, I would pull the trigger. Because the thing is too, you don't buy everything TCG Player. Like, I'm just using TCG Player as a reference. Like, sometimes I'll go to my card shop that's like 15 minutes down the road, and they have individual, secret rares, right? And obviously, a lot of card shops have that. Sometimes they're upcharged. Sometimes they're almost like on sale, right? So it just depends on the card shop and how well they know Yu-Gi-Oh! In the market and how well they keep up with it. So that's why I don't ever say, like, get this specific thing. If you can get under 65, it's good. Over 65, it's a little tricky. Over 70, I think we're starting to lose any chances of gaining value, because the Bestial stuff feels like a really good target for some reprints, right? Like, if you want to talk about what is probably going to be the chase cards of the 2023 Megatons, the Bestial stuff, to my knowledge, none of the Bestials have, like, an OTS reprint. So all the Bestials are obvious targets for the tins. So before the tins get announced, buy and sell your Bestial stuff. But I still think it's a really good value. When does this come out? 2 weeks. All right. We'll wait. We'll talk about that in a little bit. We'll wait on that one. Collector Rare Baron. I think this is the highest selling collector's rare on the market. If we go, where is it at? There it is. Here, the second highest is the Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon. Oh, just the Maze of Memory one. It's literally all the Maze of Memory ones. Yeah. Okay, that's fun. Maze of Memories, probably a good box. Baron would be tricky. Like if I pulled a Baron, like a collector's rare Baron, it would be. I mean, I posturing. I probably would just sell it and buy this version for $50. But it would be really cool to have. Like it probably looks really cool. I haven't seen one, but it probably looks really cool, IRL. So it'd be a tough one for me to pull the trigger on. But there's no way. Really? Oh, okay. Plus 15 for shipping and handling. And you get these bundles up here too. So 15, that's 62. That's still not bad. $62 for this. The lottery tickets are Access Code Talker. Starlight Rare Access Code Talker. Is that the highest? As the Exodias are in here. Pieces of Exodia are in here. Now I'm intrigued. You had my curiosity. Now you have my attention. Because I've always wanted that. I don't know if you guys know anybody that has it. I've always wanted like a framed set, like in one frame, like in like with the head here. I gotta do this backwards because the video should be flipped. The right hand here, the right leg here, the left leg here, the left hand here, in a frame, like almost like taped. I don't know how you would put it on, but like glued or taped. Glue feels like it would be wrong, but onto some cardboard and put the cardboard or something cooler than that. I don't know how you would frame it, but just putting it in a frame. Oh, I guess I could put it in a sleeve, and then put the sleeve in like a thicker sleeve, and then tape that sleeve to some cardboard. In my house, right? And the Starlight Rares, like that's the dream, right? But the problem is these are $600, $200 a pop. I mean, you know, $200 per piece, other than the head, is $800, and then $600 for the head. Which good luck finding the head for $600. Yeah, jeez. I guess I could get this. But these are, no, I'm not getting those. Those are ultra rares. It's disgusting. I could get these. I'll think about it later. Let me just add, I'll think about it later. $400 feels like a lot, but I would never play them. Like, if you're gonna just collect the cards, you should just get the Japanese. A lot of times Japanese is cheaper, and these look just as cool. And it's not like we need to, like, we know what this card says. Like, if, I don't know exactly what it says. I believe it names them all. So if you can contain this card, the right leg, the left leg, the right hand, the left hand, you win the duel, right? But even if not, we just look it up. $400, but it just feels like a lot, because the reason I would get these cards is just for good value anyway. Or just to, not for good value, it's terrible value. But the reason I would get these cards is because they look cool. Look how cool this looks. If you have the right leg, the left leg, the right arm, the left arm, in addition to this card in your hand, you win the duel. Oh, I kind of had it right. Anyway, I got really distracted there. I apologize. I just tangented. But, you know, that's what you do. Like, the Yu-Gi-Oh cards look cool. Like, I'm sorry. It's not a reason to play. Like, yeah, Access Code Talker's got a really cool effect. But look how cool the card looks. Look how cool this card looks. It's got that, like, is that like a sword or something? I don't know, right? And I like the look of the piece of Exodia. $400 feels like a lot, but, and this is why we're talking about it during the market watch, $62 for these boxes. Now, there's not a guarantee you're gonna get a Starlight, right? You have to get a case. I believe a case has 3. I think that's what I saw on a Reddit post one time of some random set. I believe it's going to be 2 or 3. And the Starlight Rares from this set there's 10. So you get your Super Poly. You got Borreload. You got Yada. Blackwing Armor Master. Access Code Talker, like we mentioned, and then the 5 pieces of Exodia. So if we try to find Battles of Legends, Crystal's Revenge, a case, Crystal's Revenge, card list. I didn't mean to do card list. If we try to find case. DocaWorld.com. David Adams, $764. It's not terrible if we're definitely getting 2 Starlight Rares, but even still, you could pull a Super Poly and a Borolo and you wouldn't get your value back. But $62 lottery ticket doesn't feel terrible. Celine is also in here. Toon Blackluster, Soldier, Chaos Space. Those are some really good cards. This is a really good card to sell. Like, you're going to be able to sell those cards. Like, it's not just that they're good in value. Like, Celine, F-Zero, even Toon Blackluster, Soldier, Chaos Space, you're going to be able to sell those cards. And the reason for that, Toons, they're Toons. Like, everybody loves Toons, right? And F-Zero, Celine, and Chaos Space are good cards, right? DD Crow is in here. It starts to go down really quick, I'd assume. Yeah. The Evil Twins are in here. The Advanced Crystal Beasts are in here. So there's some decent cards. Decent looking cards. It's not the best value in the entire universe, but there is a possibility that you could spend $62 and pull the head and get literally 10 times the value. And I think that is the reason why, when we're looking at the best-selling cards as well as packs, just selling things that are over $5 in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! 3, 6, 9. The 12th, I don't know if it's like 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, but I'm assuming it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the 12th best-selling card or set is Battles of Legends Crystal's Revenge Boosters box. And it's not because the set is good. It's because there is an insane amount of lottery aspect to it that intrigued me so much. I had like a 5-minute tangent about just collecting all the pieces of Exodia. I apologize, but at the same time, you got to go with your gut. I'm still thinking about spending $400 on the Japanese versions, but I won't do that here. The display box of Magnificent Mavens is up. It's interesting. Let's take a look at Pressured Planet. I thought so. I thought this was a $40 card. Why is this card down? Does anybody know? Is it ran at 1? No, I didn't think so. Are people just opening more and more packs? $32, $33, $35, $37. Feels pretty good. I will say, while I think we're taking forever to get back to 40. There it is. So on the 5th page, it's where the first turns to over 40. I will say, on the surface, this card looks like it's got a lot of value because if it's a $40 card, like, this should be a $40 card, and it's not. So that's why I would say it has good value. The problem is, for me, when a deck is the best deck in the room, that's when its cards should be the most expensive. When there is one copy and it's the best deck, especially if it's a 3 of, like, that's when the card should have the most amount of value. But as we can see, it came out at 100, it dropped down to 70, went back up to 100, and is now currently at 37. And the thing is, it hit $36 and it didn't really jump up. And right now, you could get a play set for about $33, $35. You get a play set for $35. That feels good, but Kashtira could get hit on the ban list. Kashtira could be in the Megatons. So there's a lot that makes me go, no, this should be the best. This should be this card's prime. Like, this should be when the card is the most expensive. It just came out. It's in the best deck. It's ran at 3. It's a high rarity, short print. but it's going down in value. So logically, like, if we just take it at face value and don't add context, this is a great buy and maybe the best buy on the market. But when we add context, it feels like it's an okay buy at best. But like I always say, whether it's the Cashier Planet or Japanese versions of the Starlight Rares 5 piece of Exodia, spend your money how you feel. Go crazy. If I look tomorrow, or if I look, after this video is posted, and see that the Starlight Rares are gone because someone saw this video and bought it, that's on me. That's not, that's not your guys' fault. You guys, you get value where you can. And like I said, when it comes to, I think that is a really solid point to make, though. When it comes to cards like that, or like Dark Magician, or like Blue Eyes, the Japanese versions, like, okay, let's just tangent again one more time for these, because yes, people like to buy Yu-Gi-Oh cards to play competitively, but people also like to buy Yu-Gi-Oh cards because they look cool and to have them in storage. Now, I don't know if the Ghost Rare, I don't think there was a Ghost Rare that was I don't believe there's a Ghost Rare. There might be a Ghost Rare Blue Eyes that was a Japanese version. I guess I could just look up, one second. I could usually you can sort by language, but I don't see that's a spot for that, so that is clearly not the case. Prismatic Secret Rare. Oh, that's not what we were looking for, is it? Okay, so I'm gonna stop with this tangent, but I will say, if you are just looking to have the cards, because if you actually want to play them, you obviously can't, right? But if you're just looking to have the cards just to have them because they look cool, like the 5 pieces of Exodia, I don't see why you wouldn't go with the Japanese version, because the Japanese version is cheaper. And, the Japanese versions look better, I think. I personally think, and this could be a controversial topic, but I personally think that the Japanese versions of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like the Secret Rare, if I could get a Secret Rare version of a card or the Secret Rare version of the card that's also Japanese, I would rather get the Japanese one. So, that's just my 2 cents. But spend your money how you feel, and obviously you can't play them. I think that's very important to bring up. You cannot play them if they are Japanese. This package is crazy. This feels like another really good target for Megaton reprint. But it might be one of those situations where it gets the Megaton reprint and it doesn't really shift anything at all. Magician's Souls got the reprint, so shout out to Magician's Souls. Yeah, I thought it had 3 reprints. The Secret Rare is definitely the one to go for. The Secret Rare, I mean, it's the highest price, second highest listings. I think the Secret Rare is the best one to get. It is going to give you the prettiest. It is going to, you are going to spend the prettiest penny on it. $27.66. So probably about $30 per Magician's Souls. Whereas this one's probably this one's definitely 25. Like, you can get 14 for 25. So I think this is safe. I don't know about the card that brought us here, Illusion of Chaos. I don't know about this card being safe. This card has no reprints. Feels like it's going to get a reprint at some point soon, because the card that it runs with the most has now 3 reprints, right? So this card's safe. Like, all of these cards, I think they're buys. Every single version of this card, I think, is a buy. This one's about $25 for Near Mint Unlims, which is probably why the best-selling one is this one, because it's just the cheapest. It's like $25 for the Ultra Rares, $30 for the Secret Rares, $25 for the other Ultra Rare, right? But I think it's going to be there for a while. You need to run in your Dark Magician deck. People love playing Dark Magician decks. It's a really good splashable card that's not going to get hit on the ban list. It's probably not going to get a reprint anytime soon. And I don't really see it going anywhere as far as not being meta. It's a really good package, especially for cards that can abuse it. And this card's really, really good. Now, will it probably get reprinted? Yes, but when? That's the thing. Like, because you could say, well, it's probably gonna get reprinted in the Megatins, but it might not. Like, there was just a set. I don't know if this set's been announced yet. The anniversary set. I think so, but we can look at it real quick. 25th anniversary set Yu-Gi-Oh! Legendary collection. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. You guys can let me know if you guys know what's supposed to be in this. But when we're talking about where Illusion of Chaos, which is a top 24 best-selling card on the market, we're talking about where it could be reprinted. That is a really good spot for this card to get a reprint. This card to be like the chase card in that set. So I would watch out for that. But the thing is, if you're waiting for a perfect time, you're going to be waiting for a perfectly long amount of time. This is a really high price. You can get them a near mint for 44, 45 really. Possibly flip it and sell it for 50 in like a month. But it also could get reprinted. And I don't know anything. I don't like work for Konami, but I just feel like I'm going to be just minding my own business on my phone, waiting for this card list to come out. I'm going to see that the set list came out, and I'm going to see Illusion of Chaos in it. And then the card's going to go way down in value, and there's going to be a fire sale. So, honestly, I don't usually say this. It is a good time to sell this card. But it's a really good card, though. So, if you need it for an event, don't sell it. But there was just like 3 YCSs over the weekend, so I don't know about all that. What? Cannot be normal. It must be special summoned by attributing. I've read this card's effect before too. All face-up monsters on the field that activated their effects this turn this turn in your opponent's monster zone gains 1,500 for each. Really, during the end phase, you could target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it. That's really good. But you can only summon it during your turn. I mean, this works really well against Kashtira, obviously. Because Kashtira loves playing during your turn. I mean, like, a lot of decks do. Like, a lot of decks do like playing during your turn. This feels sketchy, right? This feels sketchy. Because the card is clearly being sold for $30. And you got this person, not a verified seller, not a gold star seller, 0% feedback. What other cards does this person have? Let's just take a look. I'm not trying to dog this person. Shout out to this person doing their thing. King Crab's cards. Seller is offline. Okay. All we needed to know. Okay, so as far as whether or not this card's good, I don't think it's terrible. I don't see it getting. It could be one of those cards. This is the thing with this card. Not every card that's come out in the last year or so is going to get reprinted in the tins. And if we're looking at just some random card that might not get reprinted in the tins, this feels like a really good option. Nibiru feels better. I don't really like Nibiru either. But Nibiru feels better as a board wipe. So does Dark Hole. So does Raigeki. So does Lightning Storm. Dark Rule No More is pretty cool too. But this card, I don't like that it makes your I don't love, and I think I said this the first time I read this card too. I don't love that it requires your opponent to do something. It has a lot of potential though, because depending on what deck you are facing, this could be really big, right? And depending on like Sprite doesn't really activate. Like Toad is really the only card. I mean, there's a couple of cards. It's not just Toad. But Sprites really doesn't interact with you too much during your turn. Branded kind of does, but they can play around this card, I feel like, pretty well. But it isn't an effect, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's not an effect. So it just goes, it's like a kaiju. Like, it just tributes your opponent's monsters for fun. It's better than a kaiju, right? Because you can take your opponent's monsters from their graveyard. Like, you can, if they activate a Baron, you can tribute the Baron. Like, against Sword Soul, this feels really good against Sword Soul, right? Obviously, they black out a card, and you don't get rid of it. But, you take their Baron, you tribute their Baron, summon their Baron. Now you can use its effect again. So, this feels like a good card. Feels like a good card to buy. But it's not that great of a card. So I don't know if you're going to be able to sell it. Like, if you buy it for 30, right? Let's say we go to your favorite. And you buy it for 32. You buy a playset for 32, which is 96. Before shipping and handling and taxes. But shipping, I believe, is included. And then you sell it for 40, like, or it's on the market for 40. I don't know if you're going to be able to sell it for 40. This just doesn't feel like a card that people will need. And it could get reprinted. Like, I think the best value that this card has is that it's just random enough to where it might not get reprinted in the Megatons or anywhere for like a year. And we might just see this card a year from now be like $50 because it has not gotten reprinted and it's a pretty good board breaker, right? But let me know what you guys think. What are the best cards for Yu-Gi-Oh that you are looking for? If you guys want me to do more like non-meta stuff, kind of like what I did with like the Exodia stuff and talk about stuff like that, let me know in those comments down below. If you guys want me to focus on the meta stuff, let me know in those comments down below. I'm always here to interact, do the best I can to comment or reply to every comment that I see. So make sure you guys do that, because get an interactive discourse going back and forth. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe. You know the gist with that. But most importantly of all, have a good day.